Welcome back. All right, so as we reach Christmas and no hockey games tonight, so if I'm going to squeeze in a video of this magnitude, now's a good time to do that. So I'm going to be doing timestamps for this too before anybody asks when they load this video up. Let us look at my Anaheim collection. We'll look at Anaheim first, and we'll work our way through team jerseys. I'm considering doing A through M in this video, and then N through Z or Z, either on Christmas Day or Boxing Day. So, sound good? All right. So, with Anaheim, this one's an interesting one in that it is very similar, of course, to the Adidas version, but the difference is the neckline. This neckline that Reebok had, not fun. So if you see a listing like that on eBay, just realize it's might be a little bit difficult to get over your head. I say that because the last time I tried to put this on, it sucked. It just did. This one I appreciate much better. These are Anaheim jerseys that I know they've now retired, but I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say I actually like these. I understand why they changed from them. I do. But I do like those jerseys. All right, this is not in any particular order either. This is just kind of going through what I have. This is, of course, the anniversary jersey that they had last year, which people really liked. I liked it too. I will say that when Anaheim has an anniversary, it works out pretty well for collectors. You get a jersey that's pretty nice, and Mighty Ducks of Anaheim here, and Anaheim Ducks here, and the nice puffy logo on the front. Kind of a fantastic jersey overall, and at some point we're going to get that color scheme back for Anaheim. I would think with the third, but how much fun could you have with this design if you did the old Anaheim Ducks colors, like the Mighty Ducks colors for that? So just throwing that out there. And then there's the white version of their jersey, which 25th anniversary right here, and Ryan Miller's name on the back. So there's Ryan Miller. I do have a Ryan Miller jersey for every team he played for in his career. He became a favorite goaltender of mine during his time in Vancouver, and so I continued to follow him after he left Vancouver. So that's why it's a Ryan Miller that I have for the Anaheim Ducks. And these all get kind of turned a little bit. Anyways, this is one of my favorite Anaheim Ducks jerseys, although it's technically Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. You can see right there, Mighty Ducks. I love the neckline. You can see the neckline's like a dark maroon, the eggplant type color. And this is here as well, this stripe here. This camera really shows it. It's funny, I got a brand new camera 2 weeks ago. Nobody that I saw in the comment section said anything about it. Even though the description for it on Amazon was that like, oh, this is light years better than the other cameras. And I was like, all right, well, get it. It's light years better than the others. Nobody said a word. But one thing I've noticed is it does handle the contrast and colors much better than the old one did. The old one would be like, all right, there's a lot of black and a lot of white going on, so I'm just going to turn off. But anyways, yeah, so I like this one a lot. As, of course, being a coho and all of that fun stuff. This one eventually I found on eBay. That was a real challenge. If there's a Grail jersey in here, well, it's number 2 because this is number 1. Now, this is the Adidas, sort of a practice version, but you can see it's Adidas and a 50. So this is a pretty hefty jersey. You can feel that it's not the standard Adidas jerseys. It's a thicker product, and I would argue probably a better product as well. But yeah, I love this logo a lot because it is that ugly, and I do like the ugly jerseys. So if I ever do a jersey countdown again, don't be surprised when this one's kind of high up. Now, one of my favorites from them of their jerseys would be this too. This one's always ranked really highly when I've done countdown videos. I love the orange. I know that there's other people that don't. And clearly, their new orange jersey is very, very similar to what they had here. Which, if people have been fans of the channel long enough, I did mention that at the time. It felt like they were doing a trial run of how the orange would sell and how that would look and what the reaction would be. And they decided to go with more orange when they actually changed their look, even the eyes being orange. But I do like this jersey a lot. I have 3 of them. I have the Reebok, I have this Adidas here, and then I have one with my name on the back as well for meetups. All right, the word mark. So I might as well do this one too then, because there are 2 word mark jerseys. This is what they changed to when they went away from the Mighty Ducks. And it's kind of like they didn't have a logo. That's how it felt at the time. But then they won the Stanley Cup wearing these. So I was kind of surprised at how quickly they went away from this one. But the logo is huge. This logo is it's just all the way across, and so it folds. That's one thing to keep an eye on with these. Both the white one and the black one, there's like a fold there. So make sure where that fold is that it doesn't change it from Ducks to something else, just as an FYI. But yeah, so those I would say are probably my least favorite of the Anaheim Ducks jerseys. I know that people are going to have the Wild Wing on that list. I don't. I think the Wild Wing's a fantastic jersey. So there you go. Wild Wing, the white version. This, of course, being the reverse retro. And I think it's gorgeous. I do. And it says right there, 95. That's when the peak ugliness happened with third jerseys in the National Hockey League. All right, the Stadium Series. This one I had to get from a subscriber, actually. And it was pricey, but totally understandable that it's pricey, because finding this jersey is kind of an exercise in futility at this point. This jersey's fantastic. This is, of course, there you see that green in there, that Reebok, that's an authentic. It is an authentic. You still have to watch these logos, though. When you get the shiny stadium logos, they don't wash well, so be very, very careful with those ones, because you'll see when I get to San Jose. And here you go, the 25th anniversary jersey, which they didn't keep. They were like just the one season, just like the other anniversary jersey, just the one season. As much as I dislike that it was just the one season, it's a beautiful jersey, and I look forward to the next anniversary and what that's going to bring. Let me deal with the cats. Give me a second here to deal with the cats. So what happened there was that Azrael was trying to get into the area where Bear's sleeping currently, and I think she startled Bear, which then startled me. All right, the original Mighty Ducks look. So this being the old eggplant, this is the one everybody wants back, and I'm telling you, if you want this back, it will be back as a third. It's going to happen. The team has been very forthcoming with that is going to happen. Just some little marks here. All right. So they had that look. Everybody liked that look, so they decided, let's ruin it a little. And they went to this look. And it's different. And this is where they started changing out the colors, and people weren't necessarily a huge fan. This started off as the third jersey. It ended up being the main jersey, which you can tell because the other one's up at the front. But don't spoil it for yourselves. So the current jerseys, this, of course, being a Fanatics. So I'll turn this around. Fanatics. It's a nice jersey. I love the look. I actually prefer the roads to the homes with these. But yeah, the Ducks, very, very nice jerseys. No complaint there. Which brings me to this. Absolutely fantastic jersey as well. A lot of orange, yes. But you can tell, let me go all the way back to this one, how this trial run to go to this eventually. Very, very similar. Mild differences, yes, but very, very similar. And I do like the new look. If I ever do another countdown, and eventually I think I will, I'm not sure which one I would prefer of those two. I think of the two, I still prefer this one, to be completely honest. But it's close. All right, so the original look. Here's the white version of the original look, which is nice. This was $50 on eBay. So $50 on eBay. The tag's all the way down here. Well, at least it's still got lettering on it. Some of the tags are so old and worn out that there's not even a size tag on it. You just kind of got to hope that that they're telling you the right size. But it's a nice jersey. And on camera, you can't tell it's secondhand. Nobody knows until I tell them. All right, reverse retro. So this was the other reverse retro. Let's compare this to their new away jersey. Because I felt like this was kind of a test for what they might do if they go back to the logo that they had before. Indeed. Here, let me back up just a little bit. There you go. So, not totally dissimilar. Very close to what I thought they were going to do. And then there's this one, the white version of the jersey they switched to. It's another puffy logo as well. So, very 3D stylings on the logo. And it's kind of sharp. And you've got the plunging V neckline if you want that, which most people have told me in my videos they don't, because chest hair is very offensive. All right, let us move on to the next team. All right, Arizona. Let us get into Arizona. So I had debated about with Arizona, like I took Arizona out of my collection when they moved to Utah. I've put Arizona back in the collection. I took out all the All-Star jerseys I was using for Utah, and I've placed Utah with the Vancouver Canucks ones over here because that alphabetically is where they belong. So trying to fix things. But Arizona, I like this one. I like the logo. I have mentioned before it's a yawning coyote instead of a howling coyote in my opinion. But yeah. It's not bad. I don't mind the striping either. I didn't like on this one, though, that there was no stripe at the bottom. So there's that point. This is fantastic. This is the original Space Coyote, as I always referred to it. And it's because it's a giant coyote head in the sky. So it's the Space Coyote from Simpsons, In Your Face Space Coyote. And yeah, so that's what I've always thought when I see this, is In Your Face Space Coyote. But I love the little geckos there on the shoulders. It's kind of fun, and yeah, it's a nice little jersey. I do miss the Arizona ones. I had that inner debate with myself of should I have the Arizona ones. Well, yeah, it's an NHL team that existed. So here you go. Here's the yawning or howling coyote, however you want to view it, in blue, and I really did, or blue in of course the garnet kind of color, and with black on it. And I thought when they added black, it really added something nice to the jerseys. It gave them a little bit more contrast. This is a 25th anniversary patch, of course, on said jersey. I did not know at the time that I got that we'd see them move. I had figured we'd spend so many years hearing about the move. I never thought it was going to happen. Then we got this one here. You'll notice that the Howling Coyote is a little bit smaller. Also, that there's stripes on the bottom, and it's a Jovanovski. So an Ed Jovanovski an Ed Jovanovski jersey. There is an Ed Jovanovski video on the channel, obviously. It'd be weird if I didn't have one. And here you go. This is the last jersey that they had, of course, along with this one right here. The black one's nice. And what's interesting is when they moved from Winnipeg to Arizona initially, I was one of the vocal ones about how I didn't like the jersey change to this because it was weird compared to that really nice Winnipeg jersey they went from. But over the years, this look grew on people, and it is a shame that nobody's going to wear this again. I can't see Utah doing an Arizona throwback night. At the very least, not over the next few years, and definitely not until somebody has the rights to the Coyotes' name and likeness that's not the Arizona Coyotes. All right, so who are, I think, still seen as inactive? Anyways. The Purple Space Coyote, this of course being from the first reverse retro. This is one of my all-time favorite jerseys. It has been number one on previous countdowns. I then went back to the black LA Kings jersey instead, but could I see that being number one the next time I do a countdown? I could. I absolutely could. This one here, I got this one from Custom Throwback. So I was talking about how they use kit jerseys. The Reeboks, I believe, are, well, they're premiers because you have the jock tag down here. I do believe these are the real article, that they're not the knockoffs or the kit jerseys, however you want to look at it. I really like this look. I always thought the Running Coyote was great. I always thought it would have been fun to have the Running Coyote on a white jersey. We never got it, and so it's one of those designs that just eventually is going to fade. Someday somebody somewhere is going to pick up one of these jerseys and show it and go, wow, and it'll be like a trend somewhere, and then Utah will do a throwback. Yawning Coyote again, jock tag, lack of stripes at the bottom. This is a Mike Smith jersey, so that's from Full Moon Jerseys. I think they still have those too. This was sad that this logo, and I'm sorry, I like this. I think this is nice. I mean, I'm not a big fan of word marks, but I really like the design around the jersey. I think that's fantastic. So, yeah, I think Arizona did really well with this. And when the team moved, we lost this jersey, which is a shame because that color is absolutely fantastic. And not only that, but inside the neckline, that's neat. The little geckos all the way along, that is really kind of fun. Reverse Retro 2.0 was a problem because they went back to the well. And while I still think this is a really nice jersey and I like it quite a bit, The reality is that going back to the well seems to have caused these not to sell as well as the first time around. The purple one definitely sold better than this one. I'm not entirely surprised. You may still be able to find places online, certain online stores, where this design is available and cheap. So, yeah, the Coyotes, I do like this one. I have one of these with my name and number on it because I like it. But I know a lot of people didn't, and I understood. Another Arizona, another yawning, howling coyote. And this is, of course, when they added the black. So this is also an Adidas, and nice, fun little logos on the inside, too. I really like that one. Now, with the tag here on the Adidas, that means it's first year, which means it's a size 50 because the size 46s had very small logos on them. They fixed it the second year. That's why I mentioned the little dot on the front, because when they have this is a first year jersey or it's a knockoff. The knockoffs very often had these, even though they were only worn the first year. The knockoffs would keep putting them on there. And of course, this being the white Kachina that they had for their last few seasons there in Arizona, and it's too bad we don't see this now. So it is an interesting part of the collection because it's still very fresh that this team moved, but I felt like it would be wrong not to have them in this video. All right, so I'm going to show the Atlanta ones first. So this is the Atlanta home, red, yellow, and white. What I love with this is that it basically is what the Calgary Flames wear now. Now, the white one, Fanatics has not put it out. Nobody's put it out. So this one here I actually got from... it's not on here. It's Royal Retros. It's not bad. Like, you can tell in person that it's not a genuine created by the NHL jersey, but in a video, are you going to notice? Probably not. And that's something that I discuss with my wife Yvonne before I buy things. Like, are people going to notice? And when we go, nah, probably not. Maybe it's a stain on the back. Maybe it's just there's something weird with it at the bottom. We're like, nope, nobody will even see that. But yeah, I do like this jersey. I really wish that we would see a new version of this. I would love to see Calgary do a throwback, to be honest, because the Atlanta Flames, I think the logo, the A, looks as good as the C. I do. I think it looks just as good. And I think they could have some fun with it. All right, so I'll put the Atlanta ones at this end. All right, we'll move Calgary to the front. And there you go. This is the same stripes, very much, almost exactly the same design. Pretty close. The striping's different on the neckline. But yeah, this is essentially what they wore back when they were the Atlanta Flames, just with the C on the front instead of the A. So, one thing with the Calgary Flames, they have got a look that I think is in the iconic range. We talk a lot about original six teams. I think that there are teams outside the original six that have kind of an iconic look, and I would point to the Calgary Flames and go, that's an example. Now, this is a nice one too, and I would love to see a throwback to this once the Blasty jersey has made its rounds and they're done with that. I would love to see a throwback to this, even in black. Even this in black with red, that'd look fantastic. But I do like this jersey a lot. Secondhand on eBay? Yep, absolutely. Ah, yes. This jersey I got when they announced they were doing the switch back to the old look. So I made sure I got it from Cool Hockey, and I got it with a name on it. That is a Paul Reinhart. So, Paul Reinhart right there. And so, yeah, he was my favorite defenseman back in the day. And when I was thinking who from Calgary would I want on the back of a jersey, keeping in mind I already have a Pekka Radicalio, it kind of had to be that. All right, the second reverse retro did not sell very well despite how much I loved this jersey. I absolutely think it's great. If nobody else does, that's fine. I'll keep getting more. This one here is a Johnny Gaudreau, which I got for cheap during the summer, and I'm glad I got it. It's sold out at this point, and it's nice to have this. It is obviously, you know, it's sad, and it might be the saddest and biggest story of 2024, I'm very glad that I have a Gaudreau jersey. And to me, it had to be Flames. I could have got Columbus, but it kind of had to be Flames. And yeah, so it's my Johnny Hockey jersey. And the white version of the red jersey that I showed you earlier that has Blasty on the shoulders. I think with Calgary, what's interesting is I don't think they've had a jersey that I would qualify as being a really ugly, nasty, horrible jersey. Although I know there's some Flames fans that would disagree with me, and definitely some non-Flames fans would disagree with me. But yeah, I think this is really nice, and I'm glad that I got that. Secondhand on eBay, you know it. This one here, I think I'm the only one that likes this one. I do. I think I'm it. I don't think anybody else likes this jersey. This was one of the first Calgary Flame jerseys that I got, so there's your jock tag there for a Reebok. And as I remember it, I got it for like 50, 60 bucks. I know I didn't pay full price. Paying full price I don't generally do if I can avoid it. And yeah, I do. I like this one. What I like too, I like that secondary logo on the shoulder. I think that's really nice. I like the mountains, the foothills here. I think that's really, really nice. I thought it was something different, and then people let them know we don't like it, so they stopped wearing it. Here's the original pedestal jersey, the red version of the black jersey that I showed you. And I've got two different ones. I've got one that clearly the C came off and they reattached it. And I've got one where the C wasn't reattached. But can the camera tell? Well, the camera can tell the positioning's off on one but not on the other. And this is the one that's closer to how the original looked. So that's why that one's still in my collection. The other one, I think, is in the garage, I think. Winter Classic / Heritage Classic here. And did I like this one? Of course I did. So it's weird that I'm a Canuck fan and I like all of the jerseys that Calgary wears, but that's where we're at. I thought this was different, and I did like the striping on it. I'm fine with the coloring too. And the felt on the logo is nice. I did a good job. I was kind of surprised that one never came back. All right, so there's the Blasty version of the third jersey with the white Calgary Flames on the shoulders there. And yeah, so yeah, Blasty. Basically, I mean, everybody knows what this jersey looks like, right? So there's that one. The other Blasty, I think, oh, I know what I did. I put it in, there's a different section. I put the other Blasty in, because the only difference between this Blasty and the original is that there's red down here. This one, of course, you got the flame on the cuff, which I think is kind of nice. So there's the original. So the blank version. Generally, the player jerseys I don't usually have in the collection unless I've moved a blank one out. With Johnny Hockey, though, I thought, no, that one I should have in here for when that time arrives that I will do a career video on Johnny Gaudreau, which I have not done as of yet. Oh, here we go. This is the one. This is the one where I feel like this one, the logo probably came off and was reattached. So as you can see, it's lower down. It's a genuine jersey. It's the real deal. It's a pro player. It's just, I think the logo came off and they got a new one. Which, with pro player / starter, I could totally see that being the case. Oh, another pedestal jersey. So there you go. Nice pedestal jersey, the white version. See where the C is on this one? That's where it's supposed to be on all of them. So maybe the C got reattached on the other ones too, on both of them. But yeah, I've never found one where the C is that much higher than the pedestal underneath. So there you go. All right, looking back not too long ago to the Battle of Alberta, where this was worn by Calgary. And do I like it? It's a Calgary jersey. Of course I do. Because I'm a Canucks fan, so that's how that's supposed to work. Stupid Flames. Those are nice jerseys, though. Stupid Flames. I hate you guys. Nice look, though. That's a nice jersey. But yeah, so I like this. I do like how they did the flame on it all the way around. A little bit of detail they added to it. I do like the classic look and feel of it. I'd love to see that as the third. I really would. And then, of course, their current away jersey. And you can see the 3D sort of effect they added to the flame, which was nice. It's well done. All right, so that is the Flames portion of my collection. Alrighty, let's get into Chicago, shall we? So, Starting with a throwback here, which is a Team Classic CCM. It's interesting to note that the logo that the Chicago Blackhawks use now is so much better than what they used to use. No shade meant at this, but yeah, it's not close. I mean that as a compliment to what they were now. Notice Blackhawks was 2 words. Blackhawks was 2 words until I think it was 1982. 81 or 82, I think, where they changed it to 1 word. But it used to be 2 words. Patrick Kane jersey here, a Winter Classic at that. So jock tag again, because most of my Reeboks are the premiers, so they're the replicas. They're not the authentic, because I wasn't skating around the ice, so I'm like, I don't need the authentic jersey. Plus the price point a little bit higher. These ones genuinely was able to find for cheaper, especially when Reebok went out and they were all Adidas. Man, they were cheap. So yeah, I like this one. I think this one's nice. You'll notice again that the logo is not quite exactly the same as what they use right now. But it is so similar to so many different jerseys that Chicago has. It's one of those interesting things where they have an iconic look so they don't mess with it. Both Philly and Chicago do that, where they don't really make any substantial changes. This is my only Mitchell and Ness jersey. So this one I remember being sent to me. And there are aspects of this jersey that I do like. There are. You see number 16 there on the back, and the C is right here. It is definitely different. You can tell with the Mitchell and Ness, the product's completely different from everything else. This is not part of the current Mitchell and Ness collection. I've seen the Mitchell and Ness collection. The first round of them, the coloring was wrong. The coloring was just flat out. There's no other way to put it. The colors were off. And so I haven't seen the new ones. The new ones to me online look like they should be the right color, but yeah, the colors were off in the other ones, which was so disappointing. All right. And this one here, this is a Bobby Hull. It says 57, 58 on there. It is not entirely dissimilar to the Mitchell and Ness one that I just showed you. You can see, though, you've got this down here and Hull on the back. All right, Stadium jersey. Stadium series. And you've got the 4 stars here, which, of course, they have on their flag and all that. The city flag. So, yeah, and you will notice that there's not a huge difference between this and the regular jersey, because they know that they don't need to make big changes. Just small changes, the right changes, and people are happy. All right, this one's a Winter Classic. And I remember when this was released thinking to myself, what's the difference between that and what they usually wear? This is the difference right here. That the C, and yeah, that's been dropped down. Other than that, there really is not a big difference between the two, and that's of course a Hjalmarsson jersey. I got this one from 2015 Winter Classic. I got this one from Full Moon Jerseys. All right, getting into this is a third. Now I don't want people to mess this up with the other one here. This is a Stadium jersey here, and this is the third, and that's the extent of the difference between the two right there. So Chicago's not shy about having a jersey for a special event or something along those lines. It is very strikingly similar to what they wear anyways. In fact, if anything, this one's slightly less attractive, if you can say that of a jersey. I would say that the logo makes it difficult. The logo is definitely tough because it is that shiny material that they use for all the stadium jerseys at that point. I do prefer the third jersey, and I thought that I could see this coming back at some point. I'd honestly be kind of surprised if at some point in time we don't see another black Chicago jersey, which this Winter Classic was. This Winter Classic, I was not a fan. I know there were a lot of people that were fans. For instance, the New Jersey Devils, who have a third jersey now that looks remarkably similar to this. Might be good that I'm doing the West today and not the East, because I would be tempted to hold this up at the same time as New Jersey's jersey, because they are really very similar. The one thing that I wished with this was that there was a little bit more color, something with the logo. I feel like with the logo, it loses something in that, which is too bad, because everything's chain stitched and fantastic at the same time. All right, this year's Winter Classic, they knocked this one out of the park. This is an absolutely beautiful jersey. There's the red C here. I wouldn't mind seeing that come back on a full-time, to be honest. As the full-time shoulder crest instead of this one, I kind of like that one. But I do like what they did here. They've got the 4 stars, of course. And, yeah, this is, of course, a Fanatics 2. But you see Winter Classic there on the shoulder. I would not be surprised to see this stick around. I really wouldn't. I think it's a very nice jersey, just in general. All right, so reverse retro time and the 1940 Chicago Blackhawks. And you can see there that the logo compared to what they use now, it's not. It's just not. It's hard. But again, it's 2 words. Blackhawks, 2 words. So I like the striping. I don't mind the logo. And honestly, when this came out, I thought, yeah, they did all right. They did all right with that one. All right, their current away jersey is a thing of beauty. One thing you'll notice is I don't wear Chicago jerseys a lot, and part of the reason is because you got the chain stitching here. This will fray, and it will look rough, and it will happen quickly. So I honestly try to baby these jerseys as much as I can. When the Adidas all went on sale, I was like, I should stock up on Chicago jerseys. I didn't. But I had that in the back of my brain, like, I should get like 5 of the white and 5 of the black, just so I if they fray, I've got replacements. But I didn't go that far. I did not. Talked myself out of that one. All right, this is a Chelios in terms of who's on the jersey. This throwback, which I think they used this for the 75th anniversary. It doesn't have the 75th logo on it. That's kind of rude. But I'm pretty sure this is the 75th anniversary jersey. And it uses that old Chicago Blackhawks jersey and logo design and shows Blackhawks as 2 separate words. So, yeah, it's not bad. I don't think Chicago has a jersey that's really, truly awful. Although, people will specify that they think this one is. Now, Detroit and Chicago, in their defense with that round of reverse retros, they cheated off the same sheet. They were cheating off somebody at the same time. They didn't notice that the other one was cheating off the same person. But it's not awful. I do have one of these to use for meetups. And I honestly, I'll say this too. When I was a teenager and I'd play street hockey and floor hockey, I loved wearing Chicago because I usually did pretty well when I wore Chicago. I noticed I got more goals and assists when I was wearing Chicago Blackhawks. So, no idea what that is, but because it's not like back in the 80s and early 90s they were great. Well, the early 90s they were. But, yeah, and here you go. What better way to end it out than with their current home jersey, which many people will say is the best jersey in, some have said all of sports, but definitely involving the National Hockey League. And I don't have any way of denying that. I think this is a fantastic jersey. And so, yeah, that is the Chicago portion of my collection. All right, so judging by how much time it's taken for me to get to this point, and I'm fine with that. I'm fine with me taking some time. I'd rather not just rush through these. It might be in my best interest to split this up even further. So I'm 5 teams into the West, and that includes Arizona, who are no longer around. But I'm probably going to go A through M in the West. Does that work? Does that work? I hope so, because that's what my plan is. Because it is Christmas Eve when I'm recording this, so yeah. All right, so starting with this one here, the Colorado Avalanche, you'll notice this looks red because it is red. When they made the change to burgundy, it was so subtle, I don't remember noticing at the time. I'll be honest, I did not really notice it. This is a Mike Ricci. I got this one off eBay as well, and yeah, I do like the design, but the maroon does look better. Not gonna lie, the maroon does look better, as evidenced by their current away jersey, this of course being an Adidas, and I do like this one quite a bit. I do like the white version better than their home jersey. I think if the home jersey used a little more of the blue, but we'll talk about that when we get to a blue Colorado jersey. I've never been a huge fan of the logo, but I do like the color scheme. So while the logo itself has always been near the bottom for me, the color scheme is fine, which includes their current home jersey, and I do like the colors. I understand that, a lot of people do like that A logo. I don't know. It was never a big one for me, but it is similar to Arizona. that when Winnipeg moved to Arizona, I don't think it would have mattered what they did. I wasn't going to be a big fan. When the Quebec Nordiques, a team I really liked, moved to Colorado, I don't know that it would have mattered what they did. I wasn't going to be happy. And so, yeah. But Colorado, there you go. And of course, 2022 Stanley Cup right there. So here's a blue Colorado jersey. I would love to see a blue Colorado jersey with the logo right smack dab in the middle. This is fantastic. I also want to say, too, I'm only using jerseys from the rack back here. I've got other stuff that I'm not including that's at various parts. I just wanted to go through the collection I got behind me. I often see the questions of what does he have and what has he got? So, all right, let's go through it. And I'm obviously going to have to break this up because I'm not doing an 8.5 hour long video. As much as there would be some audience for that. And I will probably, when I'm done all of the videos, probably condense it all into one. Because I know there's YouTube channels that put out these videos that have like 8 hours. I'm like, all right. I mean, if you want to sleep at night, right? I do know I put people to sleep. And I'm not insulted by that. I've been putting people to sleep for a long time. My kid, when he was fussy as a toddler, I would just, sit and talk and he'd out. So my voice does apparently have that effect on people. So this is a Nathan McKinnon. And you can see the avalanche right there on the back. When they'd actually put things on the back instead of on the inside of the neckline where nobody can see it except the person wearing it. And not while they're wearing it either. The stripes here are kind of odd. Agreed. But in reality, I think that's a decent jersey. I'm kind of surprised that one hasn't come back yet. With all the retro throwback everything. I know Mitchell and Ness did one. That was one that I saw that I thought was colored interestingly. So this is the second reverse retro. It is a gorgeous jersey. I think Colorado did quite well with this. Of course, it got kind of confusing because this is like Colorado State flag colors, which kind of match the Kansas City Scouts colors. So when New Jersey did the Kansas City Scouts themed callback as a reverse retro, it was the same colors as this, but different idea, just the same color look. That's why when I heard New Jersey was doing a throwback to Kansas City Scouts and the Avs were looking at doing a throwback to the Rockies, I was like, so same then. All right, this is a Joe Sakic. This is when they changed to the burgundy. So red one was earlier, burgundy's now. This is a Joe Sakic. You can see the 1996 Stanley Cup patch. I don't get the patches anymore. I just haven't seen patches lately that I think are fun. Some of the old patches are fun. Hey, this is fun. This is their third jersey, of course. They wear it for rivalry nights. I absolutely love this. This does have echoes of the Colorado Rockies look to it. But it is much nicer, I think, and it's a much better jersey. And so, yeah, not too shabby. All right, this is the first year design. This is in a CCM. And so, yeah, you can see the logos used to be a lot smaller. And I've seen people say that the retail version, they were smaller because they didn't want it to be like the on-ice version. But it does feel like logos now are bigger on jerseys on ice as well than what they were before. Word mark, yeah, Colorado's done a red word mark, or burgundy word mark, I guess I should say. And the weird stripes and all. So, very, very similar between this one. I'll go ahead and grab the blue one again. And you'll see that there are some striking similarities between the two. And there are people who will love one or the other and say they hate the other. Because that's how collectors work. But hey, it's as word marks go, it's fine. All right, so Reebok, and when they didn't have stripes here because you had the piping down the side, the piping was always weird. I think calling attention to the piping was also weird. You'll notice the green stripe in here for a Reebok Authentic, which this one has as well. And I got both of these from Full Moon Jerseys, and I think they were like $60 each. So sometimes you get a find. And I felt like at the time, you know what, that's a find. Now, of course, you will notice it does have that neckline that tends to kind of choke me out, I should say. I don't know if it chokes anybody else that's watching this, but be careful putting that on. Could break your nose with that. All right, stadium jerseys sometimes are a miss, and this one was a. It's something, isn't it? It's like you have a pyramid balancing on top of a pyramid next to a pyramid, and then if you look back here, there's a pyramid. That's kind of how it looks to me. Although that is an A, for Avalanche, it does look kind of like they're balancing a pyramid on a pyramid, which don't do that. It will not stay that way, and people could get hurt. Which brings us to this one right here. This one, of course, the Colorado Stadium jersey. 5280 is for the above sea level, the 1 mile above sea level for Denver. So there is one jersey I do need to grab here. All right, so in this case, I was like, all right, I didn't get the first reverse retro. This, of course, being the Nordiques throwback. Absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful. Fantastic. Great job done by the Avalanche on this one. No notes, no complaints, and no reasons for any kind of complaint. All right, so that does it for Colorado. One curiosity I have with this is always how people are going to take, like, where do the Minnesota North Stars belong? Do they belong with Dallas? Do they belong with the Minnesota Wild? I'm going to include them with the Dallas Stars. Now, obviously, I didn't do that with Arizona and Utah because it didn't feel like this was, well, it's not as recent, is one thing. But, of course, I didn't include Quebec Nordiques with Colorado because Quebec Nordiques would be in the East. It's a whole other thing. But you guys, you're going to have the timestamps, and it's going to be explained where everything is, so it should be fine. I'll start with the Minnesota North Stars, though, because sure, why not? So I really like this design. This is, of course, the look they had in the early 90s when they went all the way to the Stanley Cup Final in 91. So it's part of the reason why this was such a popular look, because they went on a nice run with it. Back in the 70s, they had an interesting look, and I'll just grab both of these, in that they had a double stripe on the bottom. So it's interesting. I love how huge the N on North Stars, like that is a huge logo. That is telling you we are the Minnesota Mother North Stars. Look at it and deal with it. And this one kind of has that same energy. The white just looks bigger. I don't know. Anyways, moving along. And on the is it this one? No, this one here. There is a stain here on this jersey. If you can't see it, that's fine, but there is a stain there that does prevent me from wearing that in videos, and Yvonne's tried to get that out. Can't get it out. Moving along to their early mid-'80s look. I do not have a white version of this. It's one of those ones where, you know, when I'm looking through my jerseys, I was like, wait, I don't have that? And I don't. I went through everything, I don't. So I do like this look. This is the look they had during their first run to the Stanley Cup Final, which was 1981. And then they did change it over to this look, which was absolutely fantastic. And you can see the Stanley Cup Final patch there for 1991. That was a good feeling. That was a team that was not supposed to get that far. Now, one of the reasons that I am allowing the Minnesota North Stars and the Dallas Stars to cross over is because the last year they were in Minnesota, they used this look, which is oddly similar to the look they had in Dallas, right down to the colors and everything else. And there are some in the hockey world, and in terms of fans, etc., who do not know that the Minnesota North Stars actually wore these jerseys the last year they were in Minnesota. And that was when we knew the team was very likely moving. And so that was seen as kind of like foreshadowing. Like, all right, this team's going to go. This is foreshadowing they're going to go. And let me see if I can find the other one in here. A lot of these I'm not doing the history, but it feels like with this one, that's kind of important because I'm crossing over from one to the other. Their first year in Dallas, they wore this. What's the difference? State of Texas on the shoulder. Yep. State of Texas on the shoulder is the only way to know whether you're looking at a first-year Dallas Stars or a final year Minnesota North Stars. So when you're looking at listings on eBay, look for that. And if you don't see that logo on the shoulder, you're actually looking at a Minnesota North Stars. And if you see this on the shoulder, it's a Dallas Stars. So they didn't really change anything. That first year, they started making changes the year after. So you'll notice this is a bit of a darker green. That was the one change that took place early on. They would make other changes as time went by. All right, so that covers the transition to being Dallas. Let's just look through other ones. This one, when I got it, I remember my reaction being, it's not as ugly as I thought it was going to be. But they decided to go with sort of a university/college look, and I never liked it. Never liked it. I never liked relegating this beautiful logo to the shoulder. And the reasoning being, well, Reebok can't have the logo on the front and do the star the way they used to because of the way their jerseys are put together. Then change how your jerseys are put together. Because to go to that, from this, I mean, you should be allowed to press charges, right? This is an absolutely beautiful jersey. They were wearing this the year that they won the Stanley Cup. And I've always loved this jersey. I've always thought this jersey is absolutely fantastic. This is one of those designs that involves the print. So there's no different layers to this. It's all one layer. This is one time where they got the whole print idea right. A lot of the others, not as much. This one here, this is Dallas Stars on the front. They wore this at the same time as the black one that had just the word Dallas on the front. And then eventually the white one said Dallas on the front too, because we can't have nice things. So, yeah, I don't mind this one. I think the striping is nice. And it's heavy because this is a Reebok Authentic. So, you can always tell by the weight. Like, if you want to know, is it an authentic or is it a replica? Just feel it. The weight is always heavier on the Authentics with the Reeboks. And I think that's part of the reason why Adidas was always about making it lighter. Fanatics about making it lighter. So, yeah. All right, and this is their current, of course, their home with Victory Green on the inside of the neckline there. I absolutely love this jersey. When they made the change to this, I was okay with it because they were using just the word mark on the front. So anything to me was an improvement over the word mark on the front. The first round of reverse retros, yeah, I like this one. Now, on camera, you can't really see the silver, right, very well. I think that was part of the problem people had with it. But I like it really, really well. And I think having a name and number on it improves it. So that's why I made sure I got one with the name and number. And I thought, you can't go wrong with Modano. Modano's not going to go out there and have a bad game in a week. And everybody going, you can't wear that. So that's why I like to get older players on jerseys, even if they're current. Because collectors will tell you you're not allowed. But I've been wearing them for a while. And I've never had a police officer tell me I'm not allowed to wear it. So apparently I am allowed to wear it. The Rave jersey, as I call it, I absolutely adore this design. I'm really glad they've kept this as a third jersey. And I call it a Rave jersey because of that absolutely ridiculous bright shade of green. But it's unique. It's different. I like unique and different jerseys. Which is part of the reason why I like this one. I do understand, though, when it looks like it says STDers, that you don't necessarily want to use it again. But I thought it was a nice design, and I do like the silver thread that is all the way through, and the star has that silver thread as well. You just get, there we go. There's the angle. There, you can see it. So, yeah, I do like the neckline's fine. Everything's fine. Just, yeah, STDers was unfortunate. Somebody greenlit that. Somebody looked at the logo and goes, that's right. Doesn't it look like STDers? Shh, don't tell them. All right, and then their current away jersey. It's got a 25th anniversary logo on it as well. I think this one has a stain on it too that I can't spot right now, so it's not that bad. It's just a blank. A lot of my jerseys are just blanks. And same thing I said about the green one, I'd say about this one. It's a nice jersey. I think it was a good design choice. Now, this is still their best design choice. And I was so happy when they went to the white version of the star as well. Because the green was just a third, and then eventually they're like, hey, let's do a white version, and it looked fantastic. This is a pro player, so you do have to watch the logo a little bit, but it is a nice jersey. I like the shoulder patches and all that, and so, yeah, they did well there. All right, so there you go, the word mark, Dallas. Just in case you forget where you are, just in case you forget who's playing, it's Dallas. You know it's Dallas? I know, it's written on their chests. This one here, you'll notice it says Dallas over the top. You'll also notice color changes from where it was originally. And that this one, I could probably use a good bleaching while we're at it. The neckline, just the neck. It's been washed. It's been washed, but it probably needs some kind of treatment. I just get nervous because with these jerseys, I can't replace them. So if we do try something. Now what's interesting is, I got this one. And I got this one in part because we were having trouble getting the other one cleaned up. But then there was a problem. They're not the same. They're not the same. So I was like, well, I can't take this one out of the collection because I got this one, because they're not the same. And that's where it's weird. It is. It's weird. Because I know to anybody watching this, they're going to be like, it's the same. Does somebody want to tell them they look the same? All right, this is also Minnesota North Stars. Apologies that I didn't get this one out in time for the other ones, but this is also a Minnesota North Stars. Fantastic jersey. And there you go. The second reverse retro, and this is the look that the team should use full time. Look at that star. Look at the beauty of that star. It is absolutely fantastic. Almost as beautiful as the Mooterus. And if you're wondering why it's called Mooterus, the shape of this should give you some kind of idea. Now, the fact that the star was on the sleeve was interesting because the actual Stars logo does not appear on the front, nor does it appear on the shoulders. But if they did this in a white jersey, then you'd have a white Mooterus, right? There's no way to make that logo not look like female anatomy. There just isn't. But I still think this is good. And this is also an authentic on ice. I got this one from Ben H Sports because I was like, now I have an authentic Mooterus. So the replica Mooterus I had before I got the authentic Mooterus, I gifted that one to my wife. So then she has a Mooterus of her own. Or when we wear them together, Mooter. That being said, let's go to the next team. I think the entertaining thing about this is going to be when I'm going through all the other teams and all the other jerseys and I start finding ones that forgot to include in this portion of the video, which is already at 51 minutes. This is why I'm not doing every team. No. All right, Edmonton. So we start off here. This is a Sheldon Surrey. You'll notice there's no stripes on this. This was again, that's the piping thing that Reebok really liked to do. The one thing I do like with this, and Oiler fans will see this as sacrilege, but I preferred the coloring. I preferred the copper. I did. I thought it was really nice. I thought the coloring was better, but I know most Oiler fans will disagree with me. The first round of reverse retro, mildly disappointing. Mildly. Although I do like the shoulder yoke on this, and the stripes are in general nice. I had been under the impression before this came out that they were going to do the colors like the old WHA jerseys, which they didn't do. Now, the old WHA jerseys do not look as nice as these ones, in part just because the logo looks nicer. Now, I was just surprised they didn't do a throwback to that WHA look. Although, thinking about it, did anybody do a throwback to a WHA look? Right? Because, of course, WHA, the NHL's always had that. They always had a contentious relationship with WHA, and so maybe they wouldn't want a WHA throwback? Inquiring minds want to know. Maybe I'll call Gary and ask him. So yeah, this is the design they changed away from. So when they went back to their original colors, this is a Connor McDavid. The McDavid jerseys, I can usually find a McDavid jersey on clearance somewhere. That's usually the case. At the end of a season. The end of a season, you might be able to find jerseys on clearance. And when they changed their colors, these all went on sale. So that was relatively easy. And they changed it to this coloring scheme, which is very nice. And going back to the original look, it's what Alberta teams do, because that's how Alberta works. Of course, in Adidas and all that. But yeah, I do understand why they went back to the original look, which is why I don't have the old CCM 80s jerseys in here. I used to do these videos where I would have those old designs that were basically identical. And I realized at one point, why? Why even have them up behind me if they're identical? Don't bring up the Dallas Stars one. Those jerseys are very different. All right, the orange look. It was orange. It was a look they had for a while, and then they realized this doesn't work. And I remember when they switched to orange, talking about how that was going to be their color and thinking, nah, it's not. Nope, that's not how it works. This Edmonton Oilers jersey is very nice. This is your Battle of Alberta that they wore against the Calgary Flames. It does look better with a name and number. Absolutely. I never bought one with a name and number because the cost was prohibitive. With where my price point's at, it had to be a blank. Because then you get the number right in here, which is a nice feature. And then, of course, the number and name on the back. It does definitely make the jersey look nicer. But I still like this. I still think this is an okay design. They did do something different, and I do appreciate them trying something different. This, of course, being their current look. It is the throwback to the old look. It is a classic. It is, as I mentioned with the Flames, it's an iconic look for them. Before they made their foray into the orange jerseys, they did have an orange third. This is a throwback to a WHA style design, but the logo, again, still not the WHA logo. So maybe I'm onto something with all this, right? Where teams don't generally do WHA throwbacks. But yeah, this is a nice one. I guess Winnipeg, right? The Winnipeg Jets, kind of, sort of. But yeah, so I like this one. This is a Taylor Hall. I got this one very early when the channel was first starting out. I got it from Lids on their website, and I got it for like $40 because Oiler fans were not buying Taylor Hall jerseys. They didn't care, and so I was like, well, for $40, I'll wear it. So I mentioned before that I really liked this color scheme, and I still do. I don't think we'll ever see the Oilers do a throwback to this, but it's nice. I think both of these are very nice. And not only that, I really like this. The oil rig worker on the shoulder, I think, is a nice touch. That's why I do have a couple of magnets that are similar to that look that I've used for the Oilers before. And it's because it's a look that I'd like to see them revisit. Some way, shape, or form, get this. Even just put that guy... Okay, if you put that guy on the shoulder for their current home and away, fans might riot. But just find some way to get him back onto the jersey, or maybe throw him on the back of the helmet or something. All right, this look here has grown on me over the years. Initially, when they got this one, I was like, all right, well, I got a Kings jersey, so... Because the colors are basically very similar. The style is very similar to the late 80s, early 90s Kings, except this is blue instead of black. But it's got the silver, it's got the white. It is a very similar look. But this logo is fantastic. And then they improved it. They really improved it with the reverse retro. Looks absolutely awesome. And the other part is, by making this orange instead of silver, this is no longer just, a throwback to the Kings look. This is no longer stealing from the Kings look. I do really like the shoulder logos as well. I think those are really nice, which of course the other one had too, but it didn't have the same level, the same depth of color. Just that little bit of orange, I think, works. I think it absolutely works. And very, very nice jersey. This is one of my favorites. That's why when they went on sale, I made sure I got one of those with my name on the back to wear for street hockey. And this, I was never a big fan of this. I honestly am kind of happy that it's no longer their third jersey. But that means this is now vintage. Now means that even though there's a bunch of these, last time I looked around that weren't selling, it is no longer a look that they have. And it means that the magnet I have with that logo on it, it's a logo we're probably not going to see from them again. The one thing that threw me off with these jerseys, and I mean not just Oilers but others, is that it's very reminiscent of the color rush that the NFL does, and I don't like the color rush jerseys for the NFL at all. There isn't a single color rush jersey where I'm like, man, that looks nice. Nah, I think they all look kind of no. So, but this one, they tried, and they kept it around for a while. This is a Leon Draisaitl, because I have a McDavid. Why wouldn't I have a Draisaitl? I have multiple McDavid jerseys in a rack that's in this room as well, but there's only the one in those racks behind me. All right, let's move along. Welcome to the Beast. Let's see. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 25. Yeah, the LA Kings, 25. And I don't have their current away jersey, which I need. But finding it, whole other story. Ben's not getting it. I didn't ask Fanatics for that one, because they were like, okay, so we were going to give to you a jersey. Which one would you want? And I was like, Boston Centennial. There wasn't even a second thought. There was, nah. But we're in the Western Conference. And the more I think about it, the more I realize I should save these videos and make sure that I do edit them together into one super long video, because how much fun is that? All right, we'll start here. The current home jersey of the LA Kings. So why not start with this one? This, of course, being a Fanatics. Changing back to this logo, and they've made some changes from what the original logo was, but it's not that big a difference. So it's one of the reasons why I'm not like, oh, I have to get the new away jersey. I have to, because it's not a huge difference. Let me find this here. There really are a lot. So That's the look. Yep. Yep. They look remarkably similar, don't they? So this one here is the current jersey. I do like the added sparkle that's in there, which may not show up as well on the camera as one might hope. But this is, of course, the one they used before. It is very, very similar. Remarkably similar. There are two different necklines for this one, too, which is interesting because there's the white neckline and then there's, I want to say it's a black and silver neckline. I don't think I have that one in here, but I'm pretty sure I have it. So, yeah, the LA Kings have had a lot. If you look back far enough, you will find the purple, and this is why we want the purple back, don't we, folks? The purple is fantastic. It is excellent. Okay, foreign blue. It's purple. Foreign blue. Sorry, foreign blue, not purple, not violet at all. It's foreign blue. But yeah, so the logo's fantastic. All of this is excellent. And the logo that they use currently in that chevron look, like the Chevy logo look, you guys know what I'm talking about. In the bottom, they've got that crown. And here you go. This one right here. So this is the white one. This is the Adidas. This is the throwback they did a few years ago. So this was kind of them testing the waters about whether or not they could go back to it. And Kings fans resoundingly seem to appreciate this. This was, of course, the colors that the Raiders wore. The interesting thing being they had the Lakers colors before that. And then the colors after, people have pointed out those are the Sacramento Kings colors. So they haven't met a test. They're not like, hey, what are you doing over there? While it's going on. I'm not cheating. It's an interesting color palette you got there. Anyways, stadium jersey. So this one was a hard find. This was tough. And this was, not going to lie, this one was pricey. This one was pricey because it was so difficult to find in my size. Beautiful jersey. Absolutely remarkable. Drew Doughty. I got this one from Jersey Baron on eBay. And this was one I hemmed and hawed about for weeks before I got it. And what finally made me get it was I couldn't find a size 46 for this or a size small in a Reebok. Because this is unauthentic. You can see the green stripe there. I couldn't find one in my size on the internet. Period. So, yeah, I had to. I was like, well, and then you just go tell your kids, don't you understand you can't eat this week because I had to have this beautiful jersey. Would you like to look at it again? I'm kidding. Anyways, the crown on the front, I like the crown on the front. I do. And this is a purple jersey. The one thing that is a little bit off-putting is, of course, the size of the gray here. I don't think the gray is a problem, but the size of it. But this is the Sacramento look, I guess you could call it. Love that logo. Absolutely love that logo. So purple. In the 80s, the royal foreign blue. They added the stripes of this variety over the top. Certain teams have had that. Of course, Philadelphia has used that kind of a thing with their stripes on their jerseys too. The logo got a bit smaller, but yeah, it's still a nice jersey. And for me, an old man, it reminds me back of the early 80s, that kind of thing. Stadium jerseys can be a miss. And what's interesting is that when LA played Colorado, they were both a miss. So it's consistency right there. I, to this day, couldn't tell you why. So much white space, so much black space, and a checkerboard in the middle. And on the back, it's a shame. When LA was doing a stadium game, I was like, I'm so excited. And then that came out, and I was like, well, at least they're outside. This is, of course, the design they changed away from, the road version. This does not have the more sparkly fabric. I don't know how else to describe it. This is the more dull compared to the sparkly fabric. It's not completely dull. There's still sparkle to it. But when they made that update, it was fantastic. So let's take a look at the update here. This is the sparkly silver that they changed to. And I absolutely love this. I never did get a white one with the sparkly. For some reason, LA Kings jerseys, the white ones are usually hard to find. And I feel very fortunate to have the ones I have in my collection because they can be very hard to find. And so, yes, if I look, I can probably find one, But when you get into $400 or $500, I'm like, I'm not paying that. So it's just, no matter how big the channel's got, no matter how good certain months might be, I still look and go, I mean, for that kind of money. But I do like that look, and I will say that for the last couple of years that they had that look, having that more sparkle to the fabric, it just added something. Then when you add things and it doesn't work, you get the Burger King. So the Burger King is a fantastically ugly jersey. I am so glad that I have it. I am still very glad that I have it. I think it's amazing. I think it's wonderful. And I very rarely wear it because I know I will never be able to replace this. They've been too much of cowards to put that right on the front of a jersey since then. Look at him. Look, it's not even in the middle. The logo's not even in the middle. Just imagine how big that King's head would have been or could have been if they put it right in the middle. It would have been all king all the time. Just like the ladies like it. All right, I have no idea what I'm talking about. This is it. This is the number one jersey all time for me when I do countdowns. I love that logo. I love that shield. I think that coat of arms is great. You want to call it a shield or coat of arms, whatever you want to call it's fine. They're the same thing, really. Go ahead, tell me in the comments how I'm wrong, stupid hockey guy. But I really do like this logo a lot. I love this jersey a lot, and I think LA hit that one out of the park. Which brings me to the purple version of said jersey. I have nothing extra to add other than this is gorgeous. But I should mention, when you get these jerseys, watch this. This is all Scotch guarded because this fabric will unravel. I had a black one that all of the Los Angeles unraveled, and it broke my heart because I was so stupid that I was throwing them in the dryer. Don't put jerseys in the dryer. Let them hang dry. Let them air dry. Do not put them in. I will come to your house if I found out that you're putting jerseys in the dryer. I will let you know that is not acceptable. Speaking of acceptable, this jersey is gone now, which means the silver helmets are gone. But this jersey is fantastic. It is amazing. This logo though, you got to watch. I do have one that I use for meetups. After washing it once, this logo, this material, it does have wrinkles in it. There are definitely creases in it. So that is one problem with this. You'll notice that they did not use this kind of material when they changed their design, and I think that's part of the reason why. But the sparkle on this is top notch, and it is a beautiful jersey. So yeah. Back to the coat of arms / shield. LA Kings in white. Can't go wrong with that. When I do the jersey countdowns and all three of the shield jerseys are in the top 10 or top 20, people tend to get kind of upset because they're like, well, that seems repetitive. I can't wait till I do my favorite songs list, and there's a lot of Rammstein near the top, or a lot of The Warning near the top. And it ends up being the same 4 or 5 bands that are the top, probably about 50 songs. Can't wait for that experience. That should be fun. Here's the 50th anniversary LA. Now, there is a mild difference between the 50th anniversary LA and then what they used as the third after that. So I'm going to hold up the third. Let me just move this down. All right, so you have the 2 crowns in this one here. This one has 5 diamonds. So that's for the 50th anniversary, right? So for the 50th anniversary, you get the 5 diamonds, and for when they made it their third, you get 2 crowns, which would be for the 2 Stanley Cups. Now this here, this is a Steve Duchesne, which is why there's an S in it, because I know Matt Duchesne does not have an S in his last name, but Steve Duchesne did. The number 28, all that fun stuff. And the 50th anniversary has that small, very small layer of gold around it, which the third jersey did not. They removed that, which I thought was understandable, but at the same time, a little bit disappointing. All right, apparently I need to let Shadow out. I mean, I have been in here for about an hour and a half doing this, so I totally understand that a cat decides I'm out. So this is the design like this, but with the crown on the front. And when they went to this, I was like, all right, fine. I didn't really make a big stink about it. The crown looks fine too. I'd love to see a throwback to the crown or to this. I think that would be great. Eventually it'll happen. I don't know if I'm still going to be around when it does. This, of course, the white LA Kings jersey, which is not dissimilar to the Adidas version. So, should this one be with the not duplicates, but kind of duplicates? Probably. They are very, very similar. Pretty darn near identical. Other than, I guess, the neckline being somewhat different. So, I'll put that back there. All right, stadium jerseys. LA. So, again, you got to watch. There is actually a little bit of a crease in that. Even though I don't think I've ever folded it, it just creates creases. And Jonathan Quick. So this is a jersey, the one I got. I was like, well, I got to get Quick because not like he's going anywhere. It didn't age very well, did it? All right, reverse retros. Let's get into this. Now, what's nice is that you've got the yellow LA at the front. This is the white version. And apparently the LA Kings wanted to use a white version like this, but the team said no. They wanted to keep it yellow. So that's an oops. That's a giant oops. Seriously, what in the world? All right, the white one with the crown on it, excellent, excellent, excellent. No arguments for me against this design, this look. And again, you've got the coat of arms on the shoulder. Then there's the other reverse retro, 1.0, where they took the old chevron look and put that on the old colors. This could absolutely be their home and away look. This would work. One thing with the Kings, they have various designs that really could work and could work really quite well. All right, and yellow. And this one is a Reebok Authentic. This one's fantastic. I seem to remember haggling over this one in terms of the price with Jersey Baron. Jersey Baron had this one, and I remember the price being a little bit too high for me, so I put in an offer, and I remember that we did come to an agreement. And they will do that. So when you see a price or best offer, they're not like some of those people on eBay who are willing to take like $5 less. There was a jersey once that it was like, okay, so this price or best offer. So I offered him like $20 below what it was, and it was immediately rejected. And I was like, okay, $15 below, immediately rejected. Okay, so it's not our best offer if you're saying I'll take $300 for this or $290. Come on, give me a break. So this one's fantastic. I love the logo. I love the detail. It is very similar to this. This, of course, being one that the Kings wore as a throwback. And it was a throwback to the original because this is the yellow one they wore in the 80s. This being the kind of style that they had back in 67 when they came into the league. And kind of a nice look. And there you can see the 80s version with the purple over the sleeve. And that one I think is quite a nice look as well. There are differences in the way those crowns look. So if you look, you can see the purple outline here. Some differences as well. But it's detail stuff. So like some of the detail stuff may very well be that Reebok had the bigger logo. They may have had more room to do more of the detail and make it richer and better than what they had here. So yeah. Anyways, let's go ahead and get to Minnesota. Do you ever notice that when you hear Killing in the Name of by Rise Against the Machine, that it stays stuck in your head for the rest of the day? Is it just me? All right. Anyways, and it's weird when they play it during hockey games too. There's times where they're playing it, I'm thinking, I don't know that you guys know what that song's about. Yeah, you're on the penalty kill, but I don't know. All right. Minnesota. So their first year in the NHL, this is an absolutely gorgeous jersey. Plunging neckline, because we weren't quite so demure back in the early 2000s. It was like, yep, chest hair, let her out. All kidding aside, though, this was odd. It did mean that where you wore these jerseys, you had to wear something that had a neckline that came up to about here on them. But yeah, they're nice. They have the under the arm sort of, is aeration the right term? Venting under the arms. I've always loved the Minnesota logo. I was so happy they won last night because it meant that I got to wear Christmas colors. Because they've had Christmas colors. Except on this one. So this, of course, being the word mark jersey that they no longer wear. But I like this one. I think this one's nice. And my buddy's name's on the back there. So that's weird, isn't it? So see, now when I wear this, you go, "Who's number 10?" Yeah, it's Michael Bublé. It's a Bublé jersey. It's not the only one I have either. So, at any rate, there you go. I also have one that's just a blank, but this one's fun. So I have no problem with having that one, and it's a large. Mike, it seems like with Mike, with the jerseys that he gets when he's on tour, that he has the same issue I do. People think he's a lot larger than he is because a lot of the jerseys that he gifted me that he didn't really need ended up being on the bigger side. And I was thinking, Mike's about the same size as I am. Mike's skinnier than I am, but Mike's about the same height as I am. There's no way that a large would be what he'd need. All right, stadium jersey. I love this jersey. I think this one's fantastic. You'll notice state of hockey right here. A term that some people take issue with, and the numbers are huge. Like, like I know the stadium jerseys you need to be able to see from a distance, but you can see those from space. Like if I held this out the window, ISS would be like, "There's a number 20 somewhere. Somebody in trouble. What's going on?" This one here, this one's kind of funny. So this one here, you'll notice the choking neckline. You'll also notice the Minnesota Wild on the shoulder. So what happened is that I was going through my collection going, well, I've got everything Minnesota ever wore. So I'm going through the NHLuniform.com website, which I highly recommend, NHLuniform.com. Because if you're looking to buy a jersey and you're like, I don't know, that seems kind of odd, go through their lists. If you don't see the jersey you're trying to buy on their list, team never wore it. But I noticed this Minnesota Wild on the shoulder, and I was like, what? So I ordered this on eBay, and it turned out it was a subscriber. So that was kind of interesting. In that I got a message like, hey, I'm glad it's going to a good home. So if you're watching, it did go to a good home. I still have it. The shoulder patches, because it's that scratchy, it's all one layer. I do have to watch, so I don't wear it very often. And also because of the choking neckline, I don't really wear it that often. But I'm glad I have it. This was one that I was like, oh, right, I don't have that Minnesota jersey. So I kind of had to get that one. All right, reverse retro time, and we're going to talk about the Minnesota North Stars tie-in here. Now, I thought about including Minnesota North Stars with the Minnesota Wild, but there's no direct correlation between the two or connection between the two. And there are those in the Minnesota fan base that think, no, we're the Wild, not the North Stars, and we shouldn't, do that throwback. But it sells, so Minnesota's going to use it. I am kind of sad that I don't have a magnet for reviews and previews where it's this logo and that size that I use at the top of boards, but that's just one of those things that, because I'm a giant nerd, I think about. Then there's this one, the Christmas colors, which some love, some hated. This is a Parisi. Some people love that, and some people hate that. But if I wanted to get this jersey for cheap, that was a way to do it, and it worked out pretty well. This is a jersey that my wife got me. I didn't have a Minnesota Wild, and she got me one shortly after we started dating, so that was pretty awesome of her, gotta say. Pretty awesome, pretty fun, and I did get every team. That was the goal when the channel started out, was to make sure I had a jersey for every team, and yep, we're good. This one here is interesting. At times you'll see a jersey go, that's an interesting design. And there are some interesting parts to this that I like. There are some parts to this that I think are odd. The patch on the elbow is odd. It's a choice. I understand they were doing like a throwback, to previous eras where that was, probably more likely to be a thing. But it reminded me of Homer Simpson sewing leather shoulder. It was leather elbows onto a tweed jacket. He were in two jackets. So everything traces back to a Simpsons episode for me, and I apologize. But yeah, the Minneapolis St. Paul, I think this is nice. It's not great, comparatively speaking, with some of their other jerseys, but it's nice. Now, the first year, a lot of green. A lot of green. Logo's got a lot of green. The jersey's got a lot of green. And the shoulders have a lot of green. And the secondary logo is huge. The secondary logo was pretty massive, and I don't mind. I do like using that one on boards, if you guys haven't noticed. I do think that's nice, because I remember when the Minnesota Wild came in that summer, seeing this a lot and not seeing this in the beginning and thinking, is that it? Do they not know what a Wild looks like? And then I saw this logo and I'm like, oh, that's what a Wild looks like. Oh, okay. All right. All right. It's a great logo. Their current away, no argument that this is a really nice jersey. Really nice design, really simple. It doesn't match their home. I've seen people complain that the home and away look very, very different. I'm fine with that. I am fine with them having different striping, different designs, even a different logo on the shoulders. I'm fine with that. I think they're both very nice, and I even don't mind the red. There are those in the Minnesota Wild fan base who'd like to see the red go away. I think it makes them unique. I think the red. I was going to say orange. I don't know why. The red and green definitely makes them stand out. It makes them stand out, and I think it's nice. And I don't think of them as Christmas colors when they wear them. Initially, I did. In the beginning, I was like, "Wow, they went with Christmas," but they've worn it for 25 years, so it works. So this is an interesting one in that. So here's the reverse retro. And here's the third jersey. You'll notice that it's a red or / orange logo here, and that the logo here is the shiny material. And the difference is the shoulder patch. So when Adidas was changing over this summer to Fanatics, I emailed Ben. And I was like, all right, I've held out. I'm going to get a Minnesota third jersey. Because initially I was like, I don't really need that because it's just a shoulder patch. But I also know me as a completionist of a collector that if I didn't get this as the Adidas was going out, that I was probably going to be mad at myself after. So to prevent myself from being mad at myself, I bought this. So there you go. All the way up until Minnesota. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below as always. I will do, over the next couple of days, I will try my best to get all of the jerseys behind me done. And I may not get it 100% finished, but I'm going to try my best to do so. And yeah, so Merry Christmas. I hope everybody has a wonderful day tomorrow. Or if you're watching the supercut of this, it's not Christmas anymore. And it's weird that I said that. Thank you guys so much for all your support. It's greatly appreciated. I do hope everybody has a wonderful day. Hit like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support as always. I will talk to you again soon.